How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about Zenless Zone Zero's first limited 5-star when it comes to the first character banner that's going to come out, and that is going to be Ellen Joe. Now, Ellen Joe is going to be an ice DPS who does an absurd amount of damage, and not only that, has a lot of really great synergies and basically a kit that I really enjoy. We're going to be talking about all that different type of stuff in this video. Before we get into all that, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, all that different type of stuff, and let me know how excited you are for Ellen, whether you're already pulling for her or if you're just trying to find a guide to see if you enjoy the character. But let's go ahead and get straight into it with the first thing we're going to talk about, which is her main mechanic within her kit, which is going to be the flash free stacks. Now, the flash free stacks are what's going to allow Ellen to do ice damage instead of physical damage, and this plays into a big portion of her kit because in reality, when it comes to not only her core passive but also her team passive, you get a lot of boost when it comes to turning your physical damage into ice damage. One of them being that you get a crit damage buff simply for doing ice damage, and the second thing is going to be whenever you have an ice element character on the team or a maid faction character on the team, you're going to get a 30% damage boost to your ice damage, which you're going to have 100% of the time for the most part, and has some of her best teammates, which is going to easily fulfill these conditions to give her these boosts. But what better way to explain all of this and how to use Ellen than in a live demonstration that we have here. Now that we are here in the practice mode for Zenless, we have a bunch of different options to help me demonstrate a lot of the things with Ellen. So we're going to go ahead and give myself unlimited energy, no stunning enemies because I don't want random chain attacks until I actually do want to show them to you, and all the different stuff in between. But going into Ellen and how she works, we're going to go over some of the basics, some of the new things that you can learn about her, and also how to maintain a couple of her resources that you're going to have to look forward to when playing Ellen. Now, looking at her basic attacks, she gets a normal string where she's able to do all this and then that kick at the end. We'll talk about how we can modify this later in making that do a little bit more damage. But we all know her main mechanic is making things that turn physical and make it go into ice damage. And the way to get these flash free stacks, you have 4 different ways. One of them is by holding the dodge button and giving us this dash, letting us hold the attack button for a short amount of time for a really quick scissor strike, which is what you see here. This gives you 1 flash free stack. And this 1 flash free stack is going to turn 1 hit in your normal string into ice damage. So as you see here, all of it is physical besides that 1 hit. If we do the next portion of that scissor attack, which is the same process, hold dodge and then hold the attack button. Once you get that spark in the middle, we now have 3 of these flash free stacks. And 3 is what you need to be able to get the full combo to be ice damage, which again, like I said before, is the main portion of her damage, which gives you all the boost and all the extra crit damage by consuming these flash free stacks. The other 2 ways is by using your skill and your enhanced skill. Your regular skill, of course, is just going to be what you use when you tap the skill once and you have the right amount of energy, which goes to that little red ticker that you see on the energy gauge. Once you have enough energy to be able to do not only the skill but have a lot more left over, you now have the ability to do the enhanced skill, which looks like something like this. And this gives you 2 flash free stacks. So now we have a way to get 1, 3, another 1, and then 2. So being able to mix and match these allow you to get as many flash free stacks as possible, and consuming a certain amount of them in a certain amount of time is going to give you the most amount of ice damage boost, which she really wants when it comes to consuming all of the flash free stacks, which give her a bunch of damage bonuses. Now, one thing I do want to preface when it comes to some of the shortcuts or some of the modifications she can do to some of her movesets is that when using her normal string is going to look something like this, where you're able to throw out the blade with the kick and that's it. It stays out for a short amount of time. But if you hold down the attack button at the very end of the string, you can actually keep it out there for a lot longer, not only doing more damage, but also inflict extra days. And if you have the ice damage, giving out more attribute anomaly as well, which can help out with freezing enemies, which is by far one of the nastiest reactions in the game because they can't even move if they're frozen. One other thing to note as well in terms of a modification in her move list is that whenever you use the enhanced skill, you can shortcut your way to that kick in her string. So usually you would have to do all these hits beforehand to get this kick, but when you use her enhanced skill, you actually get to that portion at the very beginning after you finish the enhanced skill, giving you a lot of damage in a short burst, which is a really nice thing to have. Going into all of that stuff, which is basically all the things on her own, going into keeping her stacks where you want them, there are a couple of ways to do this, and one is a little bit more efficient, but one is a little bit more easier. With the 3 stacks of flash frees that you get, you can do something like this, where you do the hold attack, you're able to do a full light string, and after you do this light string, you can go ahead and do your skills, which give you a little bit more damage, and there you go. That's a full combo with just that first hold attack And once you use your enhanced skill, you get 2 flash free stacks, and then guess what? You're shortcutting your way after that second skill into the last portion of that string, which is a very big boost in damage and allows you to keep the ice damage throughout the whole combo. Now you can switch cancel after you see the spark of Ellen's scissor attack, which allows you to do other things with other characters, similar to the way I will do this, where I do the long version, see the spark, go into a new character. After I'm done with that new character, I can go into someone like Sokaku and then showcase off the next mechanic, but you get the gist. We hold the button all the way up until we see the spark. Once you see the spark, then you can switch, because this lets you keep the flash free stacks that you would have gotten, but allows you to do something else with a different character, allowing you to do more damage or inflict more days, which can help the team overall and how efficient you are with building up not only the damage, anomaly buildup, but also the days as well. The last thing I do want to show when it comes to some of the aspects of being as efficient as possible with Ellen, one of them being the Sokaku assist or the Rina assist that we have, where we can make a quick assist happen with the next characters coming up on the team. Now, if you see that we use Sokaku and we hold down her skill, we actually get the assist button at the bottom right. This assist button lets us bring out Ellen, and she's able to do what would be a very long animation, which you see right here. For a scissor attack, we shorten it to make it look like the really fast version of it. So we're going to bring out Sokaku, we're going to use her skill, and when we use her skill and hold down the direction, Ellen gets to have instant dash, which allows her to do this really quick version of her scissors, which gives us 3 flash free stacks. So that's another way you can earn the flash free stacks, which give you not only enough to do a full combo, but if you're weaving in your skills as well, you're able to keep the uptime on the ice damage. Now to show it with no flash free stacks, that way you can see the build up. We're going to use the skill with Sokaku, hold a direction button with Ellen, use the charge attack. That is 3 stacks added onto Ellen, again letting us do the full combo with her light string, and then weaving in the enhanced skill, going back into the damage, doing a lot more. You get so much value from using characters like Sokaku or the other ice element characters, not only for the damage boost, which Sokaku helps with the attack boosting, and Lycan helps with the massive amount of days he's able to give, and not only that, also able to give ice res pen as well. It's a lot of different aspects to Ellen that allow you to use not only longer versions of her string, allow you to have almost 100% uptime on her ice damage, and also for Sokaku being able to allow you to have that assist where you can come out and immediately do the dash. There's a lot of really cool stuff that comes with having Ellen, and min-maxing how much time it takes for you to get enough stacks to be able to do all the damage that you possibly need to do. The last thing, which isn't really hard to explain, is her ultimate, which is just a large AoE and does a crap ton of damage. Really good AoE ult, does a lot to a group of enemies, and is just overall simple, just does damage, nothing really else to explain there. Really quickly, just to show how that team works, let's go ahead and switch to the version of this team with Rina. Now that we are here with Rina, I'm going to showcase how she also does the same thing while also filling the conditions for being a faction character, giving Ellen the ability, which we already have it with Lycan, but if you don't have Lycan, we actually get that with Rina as well, which gives us not only a big boost in being able to give us that really quick dash attack, but she also is able to trigger it with her skill. So if we use Rina's skill, we're going to get the assist button again, and again giving us that dash attack with Ellen. I'm going to go ahead and try to do the correct version, which is the hold, and we get the quick animation. That's another character is able to do so, and if I'm not wrong, let's go try both of them on the same team. I also forgot to mention that the team location of each person in their slot when it comes to the first character, the second character, and the third character does matter quite a bit when it comes to characters like Rina and Sokaku with the way they do their follow-up assist, which is going ahead and showing off how this works. We're going to disable the enemy's movement for a quick minute and give ourselves unlimited energy. But as you see right here, with Rina, as I showed you, we are able to go into Ellen if we have them in the right slot, but they go from left to right to show you which character is coming up next when you do your assist follow-up. I don't think there's a way to go backwards in that order, because as you see right here, if we use the skill with Rina, we get Sokaku. But if we use the skill with Sokaku, since Ellen is up next, we get the ability to give Ellen her dash, which gives the really quick version of this. So that's a really cool thing to see. And also, if we do use Sokaku's chain attack, we get the same thing. We get a free quick version of Ellen's animation, which makes her absolutely nasty. So not only are you able to trigger this with Rina's skill, Sokaku's skill, you're also able to do it with Sokaku's chain attack, which is very, very strong, and why she's by far one of the best characters to put on for Ellen when it comes to the fast animations and min-maxing the efficiency of getting those flash free stacks to help you out with these long combos that you're probably going to use to be able to take down the enemy, going ahead using your full string, doing the enhanced skill, and then going into something like Sokaku, bringing out Ellen again and getting those flash free stacks again, just filling up your bar once more. There's so many different synergies that you can do when it comes to these characters, and you can even mix and match more characters with these characters as long as you have someone like Sokaku, because I think that's a very pivotal portion of this team. But other than that, going into actual build, we're going to look at her equipment, and with her equipment we're going to be, and this is going to take a time for us to actually get the right amount of disc drives when it comes to leveling our accounts up, but she's most likely going to want, of course, Polar Metal, which is the ice set, helping out with her ice damage and also giving us more damage on our basic attack, dash attack when an enemy is frozen, or inflict shatter, which her scissor strike, it makes an immediate shatter happen and is guaranteed whenever you use that scissor strike on a frozen enemy. So that is something to know as well when it comes to Ellen's kit. One other thing when it comes to her W engines, of course, her signature is by far going to be her best when it comes to how it works and everything that you get with it giving you not only ice damage, a crit rate main stat, and a lot of crit rate substats within the passive itself, which makes it a really good W engine to have on Ellen. Another W engine that's actually pretty good on her as well is launching a dodge counter or a quick assist, increases the equipped character's attack by 12% for 12 seconds. I usually don't like conditional weapons when it comes to these games, but since you have that dodge that Ellen's able to trigger her own dash with, and not only that, with Sokaku you're able to use the quick assist as well, which help really good when giving the max amount of flash free stacks to help you keep it up 100% of the time. This is actually a pretty good W engine to put on Ellen as well. That will help out give her a little bit more damage compared to all the other W engines we currently have in the game, because most of them are more element centric with giving element damage for electricity and also for physical. That's pretty much it when it comes to all the things in regards to Ellen. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to work around a couple of different disc drive sets, like giving her possibly more impact for a little bit of days, maybe even giving her an attribute anomaly, because we all know that might be a busted stat in the future. But at the current moment, we are probably going to be looking at the Woodpecker Electro for the crit rate, which is going to be very valuable as a set bonus, and then not only that, the Polar Metal as well. Now going on to some of the main stats that you will be putting on your disc drives, this is going to be a little bit confusing just because we don't know everything in regards to how comfortable we are with knowing a lot of these stats. But looking at the filters in this game, we actually can see which stats can drop on what. So for your top left disc drive, if I'm not wrong, this is a static attack, if I could be correct. But the main stats for these are just HP, so we don't have to worry about that. Top left is HP. Top right is going to be having attack ratio, HP, defense, anomaly mastery, impact, and energy regen. And for the most part, you are going to want attack ratio on Ellen because it's going to give you the most amount of damage you can possibly get for her. For the middle right, you're going to see attack, HP, defense, and then all the element bonuses. We're for sure going to go for the ice damage bonus because, of course, that's where you're going to see all of Ellen's damage come from. So you definitely want to get the ice damage bonus for the middle right. For the bottom right, we're going to see that the main stats are going to be attack ratios, crit rate, crit damage, and anomaly proficiency. We 100%, depending on the values, because she gives herself quite a bit of crit damage, we might be going for the crit rate main stat. But if you see yourself getting a lot of crit rate and other means with having her signature W engine, you could probably go for the crit damage scaling version of the bottom right. Bottom left, if I'm not wrong, is another static main stat, which is going to be just straight defense, so we don't have to worry about that. The next one is going to be, if I'm not wrong, straight HP. No, this one is straight attack. Don't have to worry about that. And then the top one is HP, so we don't have to worry. This one's going to be attack percentage, ice damage bonus, and then the bottom right is going to be the crit rate, crit damage, depending on the values that you have on your ratios. But other than that, that is going to be it for Ellen's guide, and also how to pilot her, how to use her, and the showcase of how she works as well. She's by far one of the coolest units in this game for sure, with all that she can do and a lot of damage that is in her kit. Cannot wait for y'all to try her out and see how she does. I want to see what a fully built Ellen looks like. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.